Hello and welcome back to AskR. On today's episode of r/PettyRevenge, a bad mother-in-law gets what she deserves and ends up punishing herself after being blocked on Facebook. Today's first story is by I Am Jack's Reddit. I've been secretly fattening up two co-workers for talking poorly about a friend of mine. I've known my friend since high school. I'll call him Bob. We're both in our 40s now and ended up briefly working at the same company, but at different locations. Sometimes employees travel to different locations for training and whatnot, and a little over a year ago, my buddy ended up here for half a day of training. My friend has a lisp, he's self-conscious about it, and was teased in high school, and it's affected his self-image and self-esteem. This guy is all heart, and is a really cool guy if you get to know him. He's a tad overweight, but he's pretty self-conscious about that too. I wasn't here the day that Bob came to train, but the next day I went to the front office with two of the secretaries to say good morning, like always seeing as we were on good terms. And they were talking with a fake lisp and absolutely cracking up, like it was the funniest thing in the world. I knew my friend was here, but asked them what the lisp was about. The two buttholes didn't know Bob was one of my oldest friends. They could barely keep a straight face about how the guy from the other place sounded like a loser who would probably never find a woman. He looked greasy. He was fat. Can you imagine what he would sound like in bed? Lisping and sweating. Ha 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 ha. Everything along that train of thought. I was pissed. But I kept a good poker face, kinda chuckled and said something to the effort of, "You guys are terrible. They seem proud of themselves." Well, these two buttholes have a sweet tooth. For the last year, I have relentlessly been bringing them donuts, chocolates, Starbucks drinks with so much sugar they could give an elephant diabetes, ice cream cakes, candy, anything that is calorie dense and sweet. It's not even hard to make them eat it. I just make a stupid cliche joke. For example, diet starts tomorrow, or if you take small bites, there's fewer calories. They laugh and eat. No joke, they've gained about 40 pounds apiece, and now complain about stuff like finding clothes and being tired all the time. One of them was spilling her guts to the other one about her husband not wanting to sleep with her anymore. Bob never found out about what they said. He left the company for greener pastures shortly after that incident. He's doing good. I have no intention of stopping. Yo, OP, this is great. I think what you've done here is just amazing for your friend. He doesn't even need to know what you're doing, but it's great to just get that revenge for him, because they need to learn the consequences of their action. You really need to find a way of slipping it to them that they're fat now because of what they said, but don't give up your game, because keep it going as long as you can. This revenge, albeit petty, is deserved. The next story is by Independence OK. I deleted my mother-in-law off Facebook after she wasn't happy about me being pregnant. I had a baby a few months ago, and my mother-in-law has not been supportive. She doesn't talk to me, and has told my husband that our child never addresses her as grandma. Mother-in-law is a very emotionally manipulative person with a victim complex. I'm not someone that placates her delusions, and her being more important than she is. Our relationship is strained, and we are low contact with her. My husband has gone to therapy because of the years of emotional and physical abuse he had to endure from her. Over the weekend, we went over to my husband's grandma's house for breakfast. Mother-in-law was there. After her ignoring me for most of the time, I heard mother-in-law and my husband's grandma talking in another language. I'm not fluent, but I can understand what they're saying. Mother-in-law was complaining about me, and husband's grandma told her that she needed to be nicer to me. Mother-in-law began to cry, saying, "I just can't do it. I just can't stand it. She deleted me off Facebook, and I won't ever forgive that." My mother-in-law is a very vain individual, and needs the validation from Facebook to be able to function. I had deleted her off Facebook after we announced at Thanksgiving that I was pregnant. My parents hadn't been able to make it to Thanksgiving because my dad had broken his ankle. She was saying, "Maybe your mum and dad didn't come this year because your dad's really beating your mum." I was stunned by this and told her that my dad broke his ankle. And she said, "Maybe they just said that to hide the bruises." In reality, I know she said this because she is divorced, big surprise, and she had been forced back to the US after her ex-boyfriend called immigration to get her kicked out of Scotland. But then my husband told her I was pregnant. We were met with silence, and then a half-hearted congratulations. My husband was crushed from her lack of response, and I was done with her. I went to Facebook that night and deleted her. She found out that she was deleted when she tried to tag me in a post about my pregnancy. She wanted the validation of likes that she would have gotten. Apparently, when she saw I deleted her, she deleted her own Facebook account out of spite, and now is miserable without being able to post. She doesn't like Instagram or Snapchat, and Facebook was the only place she could get validation. I'm more than a little amused that she so desperately wants her social media, but can't create another account without acknowledging that she deleted her last account out of spite, and will do anything to save face. You know, OP, sometimes a bad mother-in-law deserves what she puts herself in. Anyway, I'd like to take this moment to remind you guys to like and subscribe if you're liking this content. I'm still very small and it would do a lot to help this channel. Anyway, the next story is by Bots Anonymous. I planted my stuffed cheese bread with meat so my vegetarian roommates would stop eating my food without asking. As the title says, my roommates are vegetarian, and they still always eat my food. Our lease is almost up, and I'm moving out in a couple weeks anyway. A couple weeks ago, I got some cheese bread from a pizza place, and only had a few pieces. I left the rest in the fridge so I could have it when I got home from work the next day. The next day I got home, grabbed the box of cheese bread, I open it, they left me one piece. Mind you, I only ate a few pizzas the previous day, so it was obvious they'd eaten more than half of the box before I returned. I asked them if they ate it, and they admitted to it because they were drunk. They always just eat my food if it can fit their vegetarian diet. They never ask me. Just a few months ago, I bought 10 boxes of mac and cheese, because they were on sale, 10 for $10. They ate 8 boxes. I only had 2. That was supposed to be last resort option for me when I didn't have enough money or didn't feel like making food. And they never once offered me any food when they made it. So today, I just went and got some pizza, bread, and wings. I already know they were going to eat the pizza, and they'd just take off the meat. However, I ended up getting stuffed cheese bread and asked if they could put pepperoni inside it. The restaurant agreed. So, now I'm just waiting until my roommate gets home, eat my stuff without telling me, just so I can enjoy the satisfaction of telling them that they ate meat. Don't eat my food. If you're not going to ask, screw around and find out. OP then clarifies that they did end up eating the bread, and it was while he was sleeping, so he didn't have a chance to confront them, as they went to work before he did and he hasn't seen them recently. I'm just concerned for OP because in some places, depending on where he's based, this could be considered assault by forcing them to eat meat. However, it's also theft, so I'm sure if anyone places charges, they'll be done worse than you are. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. Have a lovely rest of your day, and if you did enjoy this content, leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see next. Anyway, I'll catch you next time.